In this video, you'll see how to set up the SolidEDGE camera system. We're going to start with the Wisenet Device Manager tool, and we're going to click the search button. And you'll see we have a listing of all the cameras on my network. I'm going to select the SolidEDGE camera, the PNV A6081R, and you'll see it says need password. Out of the box there's no default password, so we need to select that camera, click on credential, and then put in a complex password, 8 characters or more, that we want. Then hit apply and it'll send that change to the camera. Next, we can click on the IP assign button to set an IP address and any other IP settings that we may want. The camera defaults to DHCP, which is typically not recommended for your VMS server. Next, it's always best practice to check the device firmware. So you can click on the firmware or FW status check, and it will let you know in this column here if there's a firmware update for the camera. If there is, it's a good idea to go ahead and do that update now. Next, we're going to go into the camera's web page by double clicking on it in Device Manager. This will open up the web browser, and we'll need to sign in with the username and password that we just assigned. Then click the gear button to go into setup. Then we can go under basic, date and time, and we want to make sure my time and date, daylight savings time, time zone, and either NTP sync or updating the clock manually should be set, so that way when I start recording, the clock is correct. Next, we'll go to the event menu and storage. This is where the WAVE VMS is stored. If the software says stopped, you'll click the start button to make sure that it starts up, and it should say running, and that's it. Then we'll go to our website, either wavevms.com or sync.wavevms.com, and you're going to download the Wave client for your operating system. Then you'll go ahead and install that, and then you'll continue here. In the Wave client, it should say new system and have the IP address of your camera. You'll go ahead and click on that, and then we're going to run through a new system setup wizard the first time. Click on Setup New System, put in a name for your system, and then you can choose these options here. The main option to think about is auto discovery. Do you want the system to automatically discover all of the devices on your network? Then enter a name for your system, and then you'll enter in a complex password for your Wave server. And then click Next, and now we're done. Once we're logged in, if you did not turn on auto discovery, you can right click on your server, go to add device, enter in the IP address, or you can scan the subnet and then the passwords. If you turned on discovery, the cameras will show up in a moment like this, but they will have a red lock icon. You will need to select one at a time or all of them using the Control or Shift key on your keyboard. Right click them, go to camera settings, click on edit credentials, and put in the username and password for those cameras, and then give it a moment for the cameras to connect. If we double click our camera, we can easily view the camera here. We can right click, go to camera settings, go to the recording tab, and then we can enable recording using the built-in license. We can choose the recording frame rate and the mode, select your recording schedule type, and then apply it to your calendar. We typically recommend the motion and low res so that you have motion recording and continuous recording. Next, we can go to the main menu and select System Administration. Then click on the License tab. You definitely want to make a backup copy of your license key in case something happens to it. Here you can then activate other licenses if you're recording additional cameras. You can connect your server to Wave Sync. You can create additional user accounts. And then the final thing is to check the version and make sure that your camera is running the latest version. You can update to a specific build, and you can push that update right here through the client quickly and easily. And we want to make sure that we're at version 5.1.0.37133 or later.